Hi, this is Monty Hipsch, and I'm the keynote speaker for a large organization in Australia where I'm going to be talking about AI. I start a lot of my presentations with the good, the bad, and the ugly because all three always exist. On the positive side on AI, for those in the audience today, your life expectancy is going to be radically extended within the next 4 to 5 years with medical breakthroughs. We're also going to find the cost of energy and manufacturing and environmentally friendly energy is all going to go down quite a bit. On the bad side, we've got quite a bit as well. There's going to be a significant amount of jobs displacement, people that are no longer employed, entry-level people, or people might have gone to university to get degrees in computer programming or even in law, only to find out that firms are no longer hiring articled clerks because they can use AI instead. And then the ugly is the fact that this technology, people get digital dementia. They make friends with AIs, and then often they're groomed into things that can be suicidal, and there is an abuse. So there is a downside to all this as well. But today we'll talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Hi, thanks for coming back. This is another slide in my AI presentation, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And all good stories start with the statement, once upon a time. So who is this very attractive young woman? She is, in fact, the CEO of an organization that employs well over 500,000 people globally. I think it's in the top 10 for a service-oriented organization, all just providing services, not building goods or services. And of course, and I have to admit, I got taken in by the fake news as well, because they said that when the staff at the organization was around the 500,000 mark, they said she had laid off 50,000, which was 10%. Turned out when I did my research, again using AI tools, that this was just clickbait and spam. In fact, it was only 20,000 people that actually exited. But what they didn't tell you was she trained all the people in the organization on AI, created a training program for 500,000 plus people. And out of those, yes, 20,000 either self-selected to exit, or they did not have enough competence and integration with AI to be retained. But of course, that didn't make the headlines that over 450,000 were. It was just that 20,000 lost their jobs. And this lovely lady is the CEO of a global company called Accenture. No products, just services. And now the organization holds 779,000 employees, I think, at the end of 2025. So AI doesn't necessarily kill jobs, even in the services sector and the consulting sector at all. It, in fact, retained some and grew the organization. You can check it yourself. You can ask some of the AI tools to compare how Accenture did to PricewaterhouseCoopers, Coopers and Lybrand, Deloitte, Touch, Tomatsu, whatever all the big four are, and you'll find that she really took it by the horns and made it a company-wide activity. So that was extremely good forethought and good retention, and like I said, their staff is improved and increased, not shrunk. Here we are, back with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I remember when I was a young lad many, many decades ago, they always said that as you grow, the things that build your personality, your humanity, your values are the books you read, the people you meet, and the places you go. I happen to have been to Machu Picchu with some of my family, and I'm a ferocious reader, and I often end up chatting with strangers because it doesn't bother me. I learned something. But the problem is in the AI world is that every model, I don't care whether it's Claude or OpenAI or Grok, effectively they've read every book. They've sucked up all of the internet and podcasts and videos and everything in. They've read every book. So from the books you read, you will no longer be at an advantage over AI. AI has all the knowledge. So knowledge is no longer a differentiator. and even the places you've been. So many video recordings and social media has covered different places. I love seeing Machu Picchu. I had a lovely time there, and it left an impression on me. I'm not suggesting you don't travel. In fact, I'd suggest you do travel. But it's really the people, the culture, the history, in this case, the Aztecs, the farmings, Machu Picchu, what it was all about. And these are where human beings will be differentiated from AI. It will be our ability to ideate, that's a big word, the things we pick up from the people we meet in our cultures, in different cultures, and around the world. And that is something that human interaction, the emotional and intellectual and emotional intelligence that's gathered from traveling and being with new and different people all the time. So that's the good. Like I said, the bad is that you can't be smarter than the AI. It's going to be smarter than every PhD in every domain within the next 3 to 5 years. So it can't be knowledge. And we can virtually tour some of these places that we're seeing. But it's good. Hi, and welcome back. Here's another slide. I'm not trying to slight any of the different providers of AI things here. We got ChatGPT, which as of March 2026 used to be the king of the kids. It's now lost out to Claude over here, and it's just on app downloads from the Apple and Google stores. Claude has exceeded ChatGPT. We've got DeepSeek, which is the Chinese AI, and then we've got Elon Musk's Grok. And they all have different values and different activities. ChatGPT, readily available, not very expensive. Grok, a bit more expensive, but a different model. I'll get to that. DeepSeek, virtually free, but it gives you a Chinese viewpoint. And then Claude, from the folks on the East Coast. I like to put the same query in all four. ChatGPT gives you a West Coast California approach. DeepSeek gives you the Chinese approach. Claude gives you the East Coast approach. And Grok is a unique model in that ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and Claude all try to have a massive large language model that does everything. Elon has taken a different approach with Grok, where he has between 5 and 7 experts in different domains, whether it be in knowledge or scientific analysis or emotional intelligence, and he has them argue among themselves to come back with answers. But what you will find when you run the queries on any of these, you're going to get different results. And I will take the results and sometimes put them in each other of these sets to evaluate them against each other to see what is said. I'll say, can you summarize this? What do you think of that? So at the end of the day, I started out as a ChatGPT user. I always was a Grok user, and now I'm a Claude user. A DeepSeek just to get another viewpoint on things and see what it censors and what it doesn't censor. So the point is, be flexible, be open. You can actually query any one of these and they'll talk about their benefits. Coding is now quite strong with Claude. Balanced and timely stuff, because Grok is Elon Musk and he owns Twitter, and so Twitter has its own information, so it's very current. All of these are good things, so give them all a chance. Don't pick a winner, pick them all. Now we're in the area which I find very, very interesting, because it's what makes us human beings. And I've already spoken about knowledge, books, and places, so we're not going to beat AI in knowledge. But where we can beat AI is in connections, human connections. So seek out mentors, seek out communities of people, whether they're in interests, hobbies, business, so that you gain some domain authority where you are an expert. You need to be truth-seeking, because while the AI can be knowledgeable, it doesn't have any morals, it doesn't have any ethics, and ethics is another one. So to differentiate yourself as a human being, it's going to be the ability to perform analysis of what is true and what isn't true, the ethics of whether it's the right thing to do or not. Just because A chat can give you an answer. It doesn't mean it's the best answer. And as I talked about the ugly, people that are interacting with digital avatars end up often having self-harm. That's bad. We don't want that. But the chatbot doesn't have any ethics in that. It doesn't have any morals. And connections are hugely important because if you're in an organization, face-to-face sales is going to be very, very important. Even if you record your minutes and notes from meeting with customers and what their business is, over time you're going to develop domain knowledge and personal information about the people that you've been interacting with. And in many respects, the AI doesn't have that. And even if it doesn't have the nuance and the subtlety that you do as a human being. So we're going to have 3 out of 4 things. Make yourself invaluable because of the people you know, the ethics and values and morals of the companies you work with, and the things that you know to be true from your life experiences and your domain knowledge. So that's how you're going to differentiate yourself and keep your employment going forward. Now this is probably one of the most powerful and important slides. You'll see it's from 1 to 10 centimeters. And what I'm trying to do here is identify where humans differentiate and where AI does the heavy lifting in the middle. So you've heard of prompts. Prompts are things you ask AI to give you answers. The first thing that I do as a prompt when I ask AI something is I say, create me a prompt for this topic, because it will actually write a better prompt than I will, and I can interact back with it. But human beings are often better people at determining the best questions to ask. So if there's 10, if it's 100, 10 things equals 100%, the first 20% is identifying the prompts. And you can use AI to write its own prompts. And as I showed in a previous slide with the different AI models, it's good to do it in Grok and in OpenAI and in Claude and even in DeepSeek and get different prompts, cut and refine those prompts, qualify them, add the ethics and the morals and the values that you need in there. And so the first 20% of any project is the prompting. At the end, when the AI comes out and you've iterated a number of times with maybe different AIs, you then need the human element on the last 20%. Here, the 8, 9, 10 from which is, or 8, 9, which is QA, doing quality assurance to make sure that you're happy that its name can go on it. Too many people forget this need for QA. I'm a firm believer that you need to expose and have your children participate with AI, but it needs to be supervised by an adult, both in the questions that it asks and the quality assurance at the end. AI can do all the processing in the middle. It can come up with different things. It will create documents. It can create citations. It can do a lot of the heavy lifting that actually, from a process point of view, will take out easily that 60% and maybe 80-85% of the heavy lifting. But the real human bit is the questions you ask and the quality assurance at the end. This is where you differentiate yourself. This is probably the most techo slide of all of them, where I'm talking about from yap to app. And this is why computer programmers and other people are going to be put out of jobs. You might have heard of Abacus AI, and you might have heard of OpenClaw or Claw. It's now possible for the AI tools to actually perform tasks, become not just chatbots, but agents that do work. Now, there's some challenges here. There's privacy issues, there's security issues, there are a number of things really kind of beyond the scope of my presentation I'm making to this organization today. But you literally can ask some of these tools what you want, and literally within seconds, if not at least within a few minutes, it will build you an app, an agent or an app that will do work. It can respond to emails, it can go shopping for you, it can analyze Excel spreadsheets, it can summarize complex documents, it can do all this stuff and interact with your Google Drive or your Microsoft Drive or OneDrive or whatever tools you're using and storing and have access to it. But therein lies the problem. Fortunately, some of these tools now you can actually download and run on your own machine, so they don't have access to the internet. Now that's important because one of these Yapta apps decided it needs some training and took its owner's credit card and went and bought $2,500 worth of training. We don't want that. So when it's cordoned off and it's on your own machine and you're controlling what it can and can't do and what it can and can't see, it's very important. But the ability to use traditional spoken English and refine it through iterations, again, using the prompts we've talked about before and the QA at the end, you can literally build an app via conversation. And we're not talking days here, we're not talking massive teams. It'll even do graphics, it can build your websites, it can do all sorts of things. So this is a more technical space. Google Yapta app or go to YouTube and watch some videos, because this is going to be a future thing and lots of people are going to do it. Some will be better than others, but the point is you no longer need a whole development team and large money to create apps. Apps can now be done with small teams and have global impact. I like to make sure that when I have an audience, and this organization I'm going to be talking to has got everybody from grandparents to parents to children. And one of the things that I'm seeing today is more and more people are addicted to their mobile devices, and they're getting what's called digital dementia. A lot of the other people are being groomed in social media, particularly for grandchildren. I think one of the best things you can do is get a Nintendo Switch 2. Cost about the same as an iPad mini, and the point is it's games, it challenges your kids, it can help build vocabulary, it can keep them engaged in cars and on long trips, but it's entertaining and it's benign. It's not anybody can just promote games for the Nintendo Switch, and they're QA'd and they're, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call them safe. They are a safe thing. And safety is very, very important, both to yourself, your colleagues, your spouses, your children, and your grandchildren. But everybody wants to have a device, and their attention span is slow. So at least with a game environment where there's a company that's looking at the technology and making sure that there's nothing untoward, inappropriate, racist, or anything else, I suggest the Nintendo Switch 2, $450 Australian, competes with an iPad, ruggedly well built and safe. So if there's one thing, if you're looking for gifts for kids or whatever else, I suggest that the Game Council is a safe bet. Get them off YouTube and get them off some of the social media. Keep their young minds that are malleable and susceptible safe. Like I said, these slides were for a presentation to a large Australian organization. I'm a supporter of that organization, so I didn't charge any money for my time. I saved them tens of thousands of dollars. But I do have a prayer that you will consider an app that we developed called the Preserver app. Preserver app is basically a digital journal, but where it differs from a lot of the other digital journals out there is it's all on your phone, and it doesn't leave your phone. I'm a privacy freak, and I know if it's on my phone, I can back it up to a scanned drive, or occasionally I do use my Google Cloud, but I know if it's in the cloud, regardless of what the organizations say, the data is being shared between all the different social medias. If a product is free, guess what? You're the product. Preserver app is in both the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. There's no registration. We don't ask for a name or an email. It's 100% free. There's no in-app subscriptions for premium features. They're all included. It is a simple user interface. It does have date and time stamp with GPS maps and coordinates, so as soon as you turn it on as a digital diary, it records the date and time and the Google map and where you're at, and that can't be edited, so that means it's viable evidence in a legal environment. It also has a chat bot that allows you to But again, it's only a chatbot that's based on the knowledge base that's part of the app. It does not access the internet. It does not use your questions and answers to train its LLM. 100% private, 100% free, no registration, and it's a great tool for documenting anything, journals, kids, elderly people, whatever. And like I say, I'll never know whether you download the app because I don't know. I do hear from both the Apple stores, countries where it's been downloaded and the volume of downloads, but I don't, and it tries to guess their age and maybe their gender, but in reality, it's not profiling them, and none of the information that's in the apps can profile them. And like I said, I use it and I back it up with a ScanDisk drive, gigabytes of storage that will last for a very long time, and it just connects to my phone. So I don't put anything in the cloud, all local storage. So if you can do me a favor, download the app. If you do like it, you can drop me an email and tell me something. I won't be able to see what you're doing, but that's the only way I'll ever know anyway. So I hope you got some value out of this today on the good, the bad, and the ugly of AI, and thanks for watching.